Today we are covering objective 1.3, finding the distance. So you will be able to calculate the distance between 2 points on a Cartesian plane. So first, if you are trying to find the distance between 2 points on a number line, meaning it's only one number in both points, you're just going to subtract them like so, and then take the absolute value, which means make it positive. So if, for example, here we want to find the distance between C and D. C is -5, D is 1. We're just going to do D minus C, which is 1 minus -5, and that will give us 6. And you are done. We have figured out the distance, or how far apart they are. Next, we are going to be looking at finding distance between 2 points on a Cartesian plane, so they both have an x and a y. Using this formula right here, d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. But these can look similar, so let's take a look at example 1. We want to find the distance between 4, -2 and 4, 6. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary, so make sure you have a calculator. Our first step is to label the end point as x1, y1 and x2, y2. So each coordinate gets an x and a y. I just labeled my first point as x1, y1, and my second one is x2, y2. But you can do it in either order. I just do this so it's easier. We're going to take these and plug them into our distance formula up here. So d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. x2 is 6. x1 is, I'm wrong, x2 is 4, and x1 is 4. So we get 4 minus 4 squared plus y2 is 6 minus y1 is -2 squared. We get 4 minus 4, which is 0 squared, plus 6 minus -2, that becomes 8. So we have 8 squared. 0 squared is just 0, so we could leave that out. And 8 squared is 64. Take the square root of that, and we are back to 8. So our final answer is 8 units, or inches, or whatever. We don't know the units. So as you see here, our x's were the same. And our final result ended up being whatever we subtracted in the y coordinates. So if you have one coordinate that is the same, all you have to do is just subtract the other two and take the absolute value. So if x1 equals x2 or y1 equals y2, then you may subtract the other coordinates and take the absolute value. In other words, treat it as if it's on a number line. So we could have just done 6 minus -2, and that gives us our final answer, 8. Perfectly fine. Pause if you need to copy that down, and give level 1, try yourself a try. Pause the video if needed. Going to give the answer in 3, 2, 1. And this is our final answer, 6. So y1 equals y2, we were able to treat it as a number line. So we just had to subtract the x coordinates, take the absolute value, and that gave us +6 as our distance. Let's move on. Right now we want to find the distance between the origin and the point 5,3. So we're starting off with just working in the first quadrant with one of our points being 0, 0. The origin is 0, 0. So first we want to label the points as x1, y1 like usual. So 0, 0, let's just make that x1, y1, and 5, 3, x2, y2. Then we're going to plug the coordinates into the formula here and solve. So d equals the square root of x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 0, square that, plus y2, which is 3, minus y1, which is 0, square that. Simplify here. 5 minus 0 is just 5. 3 minus 0 is just 3. Now we're going to square both of those. So 5 squared is 25. 3 squared is 9. So we got the square root of 25 plus 9, which is to add those together, we get the square root of 34, which is approximately, plug that into a calculator, 5.8. And we're going to keep rounding off at the 10th place unless it tells us otherwise. So our final answer is 5.8. Go ahead, give this next one a try. And I'm going to give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So our final answer is about 18.4. Now let's move on to example 3, which is a level 2 question. And now we have 2 points in the first quadrant. Neither are going to be on the origin. So we want to find the distance between the points 1, 4 and 5, 6. And we're going to solve this just like every other point or every other problem. So this first one is going to be x1, y1, and the second one is x2, y2. Remember, our formula is d equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we're going to go ahead and start plugging these in. x2 is 5 minus x1 is 1, square that, plus y2 is 6 minus y1 is 4, square that. Now work from the inside out. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Square that. Square both of those. So we get 4 squared is 16. Plus 2 squared is 4. 16 plus 4 is 20. So now we have to take the square root of 20, which is about 4.5. We're about to go to the next problem. Go ahead, give this one a try, and I'm going to give you the answer. Pause the video if you need it. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So our answer is about 9.9. Pause the video if needed, and let's move on. Right, so the example 4 is a level 3 type question. So now we're dealing with points in all 4 quadrants of the coordinate plane. So we want to find the distance between the points -8, 3 and -2, -5. Start off by labeling them x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. And remember our formula right here. And start plugging our values in. So x2 is -2 minus x1 is -8. Square that, plus y2 is -5 minus y1 is 3. Square that. Okay. Combine terms on the inside of the parentheses, so -2 minus -8, which is the same as -2 plus 8. That gives us +6. squared plus negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8 squared. 6 squared is 36 plus negative 8 squared is going to give us a positive 64. Add those together, we get 100. Square root of 100 is exactly 10. And we are done. Okay. Go ahead, give the try it yourself problem a try. And I'm going to give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. Here you go. Your final answer should be 13. Now go ahead, give this challenge problem a try. It does have big numbers, but I think you can do it. And I'll go ahead and give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. All right. So we are playing Minecraft and we designed a castle located at negative 3052, 1254. And we want to build an iron farm. So we trek out to find villagers, and we find a village at 700 and 1973. We could only transport one villager at a time, so how far will you travel in total, including your initial trek, to bring all 3 villagers back to our base? So first we want to find the distance using the distance formula. Gone ahead and plugged in the coordinates for you right here. Now solve the inside of the parentheses. Now square both of these numbers. And you get pretty big numbers, but go ahead, add them together. And here we go. We still got a pretty big number, but now we're going to take the square root of that and go ahead and round off at the tenths to get 3,820.3. Now remember, we are making multiple treks here. We started at our house, or our castle, and we found the village. So we went there once, and then we have to come back for the first villager. Go back, come back, go back, come back to get all 3 villagers there. So we went 3,820.3 blocks 6 times. So we're going to multiply that by 6 to get 22,920.1, no, point, what? 22,921.2 blocks total, because we went the same path 6 times. And those are your notes. So go ahead, complete the summary page on the next page, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day. Bye.